Was the plan coming into the game to have Chaz close?
Yeah, I mean, we were going to put him at the back end regardless. The plan coming into the game was, who's ever going to be out there in whatever situation going to be, competing guys that we felt were how do I say it? Not nervous. I mean, let's go out and compete, let it out. So, a couple guys we were ready to go right, left, whatever we needed to, but I thought he threw really well in the back end. We don't ever question his competitiveness. So
today, pretty much what you've seen from Boyd since the fall.
Yeah, I mean he's good. We don't want to push too quickly with him in terms of the rotation piece of it. We like to have him settle in. We got a young team. He's clearly a young pitcher, but as I said yesterday, you don't have to put a qualifier on. He's good. Thought he did an excellent job of competing in his zone, letting his defense work behind him, and didn't get rattled. Made some big pitches when he needed to.
How big of an impact is it for your defense being with a guy on the mound who's working as quickly between pitches like Boyd does?
I think you know the answer to that question. It's huge. It's the energy piece of it. You can feel that, and I think guys really are comfortable bouncing around. They can feel, they feel good playing behind him because they know that he's going to pound the zone. They stay alive, and that's an age-old baseball adage right there. So. I thought the defense piece of it was sharp today. We turned some double plays, or a double play. And I think that's just a direct result of, again, being a former infielder, you love it when your guy's out there pumping strikes and being aggressive. It shows trust.
How big is it? It seemed like he had a lot of big movement on his late movement on his fastball today. How important is that just to miss barrels and hit those? Well,
it's more the late life gets you a lot of ground balls. I mean, he does a good job with his two-seamer, and even behind an account, he can throw that and still probably get a ground ball. But very effective pitch for him.
I think it was Torque who said that Boyd seems to have a way more mature of an approach than you would expect from a freshman pitcher. What do you attribute that to? You've seen that.
I don't even want to tell you. I just heard as I was walking in here is what he was doing in the training room before. I mean, that kid's about as loose. But you want some of that. I think you saw a result, when you play up tight yesterday and when you play loose and just now you're going to lose some games. That happens. But what you don't ever want to question is, did you do it because you're uptight and because you're nervous? He's kind of it's funny. He has a persona of not a lot going on up there, but trust me, there's a lot going on up there. But you got to appreciate that because he doesn't let it affect him. Anything, the situation, his age, any of that stuff.
How impressive was Lyle today? Not only at the plate, but had the caught stealing.
Yeah, it's funny because we know he's a good catcher. He's one of the top players in the country, and we've just been waiting for for him to settle in. I think it's tough when you've got a youthful team like we do, and even in his case, the guy has not caught a lot of college baseball games. I don't have the exact number, but it takes time, and I want to see where we are after 10 games. I want to see how this team grows and matures. I said this yesterday. I thought there was a lot of growth yesterday. We didn't get the win, and we run out again today after a very, very disheartening, tough loss yesterday, and come out and grind out a win, and led by him. And I think his defensive piece, that was a big play throwing that guy out. And I didn't realize until I'm walking, down the hallway. It was a very quiet day for him. 3 hits, and after the game 3, catching all of it. So I'm very, very proud of him, and I'll be anxious to see as he just gets more comfortable behind the plate how the throwing and stuff takes off.
Has it been tough to him adjusting to catching so many games like this for last week now?
He's always ready. He doesn't complain about it. He wants to be back there. We just got to be smart about it and pick and choose when we can rest him.
What's Carter's status?
He's out. I don't know. I think day by day at this point. But the good part of that is I think Gage Workman's playing really well, and we'll go back and look at everything and see who's giving good at bats, what's our best lineup defensively. But that's when you know things are moving in the right direction. When one guy goes out, you don't lose a lot. I do like the depth of this team. Hopefully we'll get Carter back. I mean, he's one of our better players, one of our guys that has some experience. So we'll just have to check, day by day.
Would you think of Spencer as the everyday first base guy this weekend?
No, I mean, I think we feel really comfortable with that. I think he's going to give good at-bats. Every game that goes by, we're 7 games in for the majority of our team's college career. I think you're seeing these guys settle in more. The heart rates are down now. And I've loved the way he's looked defensively. I think he's more and more comfortable. He's a pretty good athlete for that size, too.
You said you didn't want to bring Boyd along too quickly, so will you think about putting him in Saturday or Friday, or will you
Nah,
just...
we'll look at everything, as a staff, but we got to get that Friday thing figured out. He's definitely an option, but I think you got to look at what's the best thing, certainly for the team, but also what's the best thing for his development. And we want to have those. We want to have those elements corrected by the time we get to conference play. But we're in no rush with him. Let's allow him to establish some confidence and some feel for the game, and we'll probably keep him on the Sunday piece, for now.
You guys had 0 errors. Drew made a couple of nice plays. Is this kind of the defense that you've been seeing for the last couple months is coming to fruition?
Yeah, I mean, that's I go back to this past weekend against Miami of Ohio, and again, credit them, but I was really disappointed with how we played because I've watched us play well defensively, and you go back and you look at our losses up to this point in the season have all come because we've kind of kicked it around with the free bases. The age-old formula for wins is your pitcher's aggressive, he throws strikes, you don't walk anybody, you play good defense, and you get a timely hit. I look at that arm that they threw out there, a pretty darn good player, pretty darn good pitcher. We didn't do much off of him offensively, but when we had to situationally move the guy up, we got the big hit, and that's what wins baseball games, doing the little things.
Was it nice to get that kind of mature, kind of total game performance after?
That's just what I told him. I said I almost feel like I'm using saying an oxymoron when I say the maturity with this immature team, that we have. And for those of you out there who know what oxymoron is, but it's funny because your rational mind says you got to have some patience. Your competitive mind says, darn it, if you're good, you're good. But these guys will settle in. I believe in this group. I'm very comfortable in this group. We got to figure out a couple things on the front end there. But the more these guys settle in, the more they play, the more you're going to see just that consistent play. Because I've been watching it for months.
Where's Boyd's talent level compared to freshman pitchers you've had in the past?
He's up there. I mean, I've had some pretty good ones, but I think the separator too with him, and I wouldn't even put a qualifier on it for him, is his mindset. I mean, that's a very mature, and he does. We got some things to work on, but he doesn't. Most young pitchers, they see fastball, throw fastball, see curveball. They don't control the running game. They don't do all that stuff. Fielder position. He does all those things pretty well. So that to me has put him kind of in a different category with some of the guys that maybe I've had from the past. But he's pretty complete, but he does have some things to work on.
What are those things to work on?
I just think doing a better job of controlling the running game and varying the hole, but he'll make in-game adjustments and he's talking about it, and it may not happen instantly for him, but he's at least thinking about it and trying it.
How does this win build confidence for the team going into Long Beach State?
Well, we needed a win because you've got a group of people. We didn't win a lot of baseball games last year, so even our returning guys that are now our so-called veterans, it's a process to learn how to win. You kind of, what I viewed even yesterday is we're kind of wavering. Can we? Can't we? Should we? And when you actually nail down a hard-fought one like this, it absolutely gives you confidence. You go into the game expecting to win, and it's huge for a young team that's learning how to win. And I said that to a couple of my friends last night. I said I love this group, but our play is, it's uncharacteristic on the defensive side of it, and that is just guys not knowing how to win yet. And this goes a long way when you can go out against a quality opponent. We just said that too. Those 3 arms they threw out there, plus that closer, that staff's probably going to be better than some staffs in the Pac-12. So I thought it was a real good test for us, and I like the progress we made. We didn't get the W yesterday, but we grew. and we grew even more and got the W today. So I think that goes a long way when you're getting ready to play a quality opponent like Long Beach. All right, thank you.
Thanks.